कैनबरा ऑस्ट्रेलिया रेजिना टाउन अंडर कार्यक्रम में स्थित मंत्री डॉक्टर एस जयशंकर ने कहा, भारतीय विदेशी नीति के लिए एक वैश्विक कार्यस्थल के लिए तैयारी हमारे शीर्ष 3 प्राथमिकताओं में से एक होगी और यह आसान नहीं है। दुनिया की वास्तविकता यह है कि मानव संसाधन बहुत आसान है। हमें इन संसाधनों को एक सामान्य पूल के रूप में देखना होगा और यह सुनिश्चित करना होगा कि हम इन संसाधनों को इस तरह से तैयार करें कि वे दुनिया के लिए उपलब्ध हों। अगर आप एक तकनीकी आधारित दुनिया बनाना जा रहे हैं तो आपको एक शिक्षा आधारित दुनिया भी बनानी होगी, और अगर आपको एक शिक्षा आधारित दुनिया बनानी है तो यह राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर नहीं हो सकता। हम चाहते हैं कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया और न्यूजीलैंड भारत आए।
Indian foreign policy, I would certainly say preparing for a global workplace would be among our top 3 priorities. And it's not easy preparing for a global workplace, partly because we don't know what a global workplace is going to look like. My second point, you use the word, okay, you are in the business of exporting people. I think it's much more complicated than that. If you dial back a bit, if you are looking at a world of deeper technology applications in our daily lives, that will require a certain human resource to drive it. And the reality of the world is human resources are very uneven. So I don't think it should be approached really as who is exporting whom to which country. We'll have to look at the resources in a way as a sort of a common pool and say, okay, how do we optimally prepare these resources so that they are available to the world? So if you're going to have a technology-driven world, you better have an education-driven world. And if you're going to have an education-driven world, it cannot be done nationally. People may be national, but the skills preparation is too complicated to be done nationally. Someone who's coming to New Zealand and Australia, there will be a time in the not distant future, they may not end up staying in Australia and New Zealand. It is very likely they'll come, get their degrees and move on. But we just don't want them to come to Australia and New Zealand. We want Australia and New Zealand to come to India as well. So, we have today a little more than 1 million students, 1.2 million I think, abroad at a given time. The reality is these numbers are not big enough for the kind of future that the world is looking at. We'll have to get the numbers up in India, on location, at cost, and then prepare it in a way as a globally available resource pool. And that I would argue, if I were to pick one subject really for us to work on, I mean, to me, education would be very, very high. I mean, there'd be others as well. I mean, mining, for example, with Australia, or we have spoken about dairy with New Zealand. But definitely education, mobility, technology, they are part of a package. And they're a part of a package which needs to be addressed together if we are going to be, transforming